Many employees feel that advising their workers to mind their own business is bad for business. But for me, focusing on my own business and developing assets made me a better employee because I now had a purpose. I came in early and worked diligently, amassing as much money as possible so I could invest in real estate. Hawaii was just set to boom, and there were fortunes to be made. So today I am coming to you from the car. I have a seminar that I attended recently, and we are having a reunion. So we had a 6 o'clock swim at the beach to start the day, but I still want to make sure that I can do some rich dad, poor dad. My battery is running a little bit lower, but we should still be okay. So let's get into it. We're on page 159. We are in chapter 4. Lesson 4, here we go. In 1974, while still an employee for Xerox, I formed my first corporation and began minding my own business. There were already a few assets in my asset column, but now I was determined to focus on making it bigger. Those paychecks with all the deductions made all the years of my rich dad's advice make total sense. I could see the future if I followed my educated dad's advice. Many employees feel that advising their workers to mind their own business is bad for business. But for me, focusing on my own business and developing assets made me a better employee because I now had a purpose. I came in early and worked diligently, amassing as much money as possible so I could invest in real estate. Hawaii was just set to boom, and there were fortunes to be made. The more I realized that we were in the beginning stages of a boom, the more Xerox machines I sold. The more I sold, the more money I made, and of course, the more deductions came out of my paycheck. It was inspiring. I wanted out of the employee trap so badly that I worked even harder so I could invest more. By 1978, I was consistently one of the top 5 salespeople at the company. I badly wanted out of the rat race. So it's important to remember there's actually a couple of things to talk about here. One is that if you're a business owner, there is absolutely nothing wrong with teaching your employees how to mind their own business. We think that it's going to cause them to leave and that it will cause problems, but very often this isn't the case. When you teach people to mind their own business, they are going to become better employees, and if they want to stay, they will stay and they will be better workers for it. If they leave, that's completely okay, because you'll always be able to get them to train other people because they're now better employees. They're ready to go and do their own thing, and they'll be able to train other people in a really good way. Now, the other thing is that if you do not feel that business is for you, that is also completely fine. So just because Robert Kiyosaki wanted out of the rat race doesn't mean you need to want out of the rat race. And the last thing that I wanted to mention was that you can use different things for fuel. So if you feel that the housing market's about to boom and your salary is having a large amount of it taken out, then you can use that as fuel to be able to get better at working so that you get raises and that you are doing better off and you are doing better off. And then you can use that to fuel your desire and your want to be able to achieve more on the outside and leave the rat race. So it's a great way of doing it. In less than 3 years, I was making more in my real estate holding corporation than I was making at Xerox. And the money I was making in my asset column in my own corporation was money working for me, not me pounding on doors selling copiers. My rich dad advice made much more sense. Soon the cash flow from my properties was so strong that my company bought me my first Porsche. My fellow Xerox salespeople thought I was spending my commissions. I wasn't. I was investing my commissions in assets. My money was working hard to make more money. Each dollar in my asset column was a great employee, working hard to make more employees and buy the boss a new Porsche with before tax dollars. I began to work harder for Xerox. The plan was working, and my Porsche was the proof. By using the lessons I learned from my rich dad, I was able to get out of the proverbial rat race at an early age. It was made possible because of the strong financial knowledge I had acquired through rich dad's lessons. Without this financial knowledge, which I call financial intelligence or financial IQ, my road to financial independence would have been much more difficult. I now teach others in the hope that I may share my knowledge with them. I remind people that financial IQ is made up of knowledge from 4 broad areas of expertise. 1. Accounting. Accounting is financial literacy, or the ability to read numbers. This is a vital skill if you want to build an empire. The more money you are responsible for, the more accuracy is required, or the house comes tumbling down. This is the left brain side, or the details. So some people are right-brained, a little bit like me, the creative people, and accounting is a little bit more challenging for you, but you still need to know the basics so you can have a chat to somebody else who understands the accounting and make sure that they don't pull the wool over your eyes and cheat you. Financial literacy is the ability to read and understand financial statements, which allows you to identify the strengths and weaknesses of any business. Number 2, investing. Investing is the science of making money. This involves strategies and formulas that use the creative right brain side. And sometimes you're going to get it right, sometimes you're not. You have to keep tweaking it. Understanding the markets. Number 3. Understanding the markets is the science of supply and demand. You need to know the technical aspects of the market, which are emotion driven, in addition to the fundamental or economic aspects of an investment. Does an investment make sense, or does it not make sense based on current market conditions? The more you can learn about that, the better it is for sure. Number 4, the law. A corporation wrapped around the technical skills of accounting, investing, and markets can contribute to explosive growth. A person who understands the tax advantages and protections provided by a corporation can get rich so much faster than someone who is an employee or a small business sole proprietor. It's like the difference between somebody walking and somebody flying. The difference is profound when it comes to long-term wealth. Tax advantages. A corporation can do many things that an employee cannot, like pay expenses before paying taxes. That is a whole area of expertise that is very exciting. Employees earn and get taxed, and they try to live off what is left. A corporation earns, spends everything it can, and is taxed on anything that is left. It's one of the biggest tax loopholes that the rich use. And it's legal. They're easy to set up and are not expensive if you own investments that are producing good cash flow. For example, by owning your own corporation, your vacations can be board meetings in Hawaii. Car payments, insurance repairs, and health club memberships are company expenses. Most restaurant meals are partial expenses, and on, but it's done legally with pre-tax dollars. And protection from lawsuits. We live in a litigious society. Everybody wants a piece of your action. The rich hide much of their wealth using vehicles such as corporations and trusts to protect their assets from creditors. When someone sues a wealthy individual, they are often met with layers of legal protection, and often find that the wealthy person actually owns nothing. They control everything, but own nothing. The poor and the middle class want to own everything and lose it to the government or to fellow citizens who like to sue the rich. They learned that from Robin Hood. Take from the rich and give to the poor. And this is very, very true. So there are certain ways of doing things. And if you do it in one way, you might not be as successful. When you find out the way that the successful people do it, you'll see that it's very often slightly different to what you might be doing. And that doesn't stop you from doing it. Anybody can. There are lots of people who start from zero who are able to get to very, very big success. It is not the purpose of this book to go into the specifics of owning a corporation, but I will say that if you own any kind of legitimate assets, I would consider finding out more about the benefits and protection offered by a corporation as soon as possible. There are many books written on the subject that will detail the benefits and even walk you through the steps necessary to set up a corporation. Garrett Sutton's book on corporations provide wonderful insights into the power of personal corporations. Financial IQ is actually the synergy of many skills and talents. I would say it is the combination of the 4 technical skills listed above that make up basic financial intelligence. If you aspire to great wealth, it is the combination of these skills that will greatly amplify your financial intelligence. And that is the end of chapter 4. It has been great reading for you today. I'm looking forward to chapter 5, which should be very exciting. Now, if you have missed some of the chapters that I've been reading and you'd like to catch up, you can go to YouTube. The Passive Cash Flow Club is where you will find us. And I would love to see your comments and thoughts on there. If you would like to know more about Robert Kiyosaki and his board game, for example, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and you would like to play, and me and Mladen, who's on the Zoom with me this morning, have created an online version, which is even more realistic than just the game cash flow. So you need to get started with cash flow to understand the principles, and then you can play the further, more advanced version. And then that will allow you to then also start taking it out into real life. Whether you're already investing or not, whether you're starting or whether you're investing, but you could be investing better, you want to be able to go out into real life and invest like a rich person, not just the way perhaps you are right now. So that would be really good. So if you'd like to know more about that, and if you'd like to see what I'm up to, then get in touch through Instagram. You can find me at business_team_the number 6_official. And I would love to get a DM from you and have a chat about Rich Dad Poor Dad and investing and what strategies you're using and different other things. But if you'd like to know about cash flow as well, let me know, and I'll get my VA, my virtual assistant, to send you some details about that. And we would love to see you at cash flow. And I would love to see all of you implement the lessons from Rich Dad Poor Dad in real life so that you can achieve your goals and dreams. So I'm going to leave it at that. I have my seminar reunion that I need to go and attend, which is very exciting. Hopefully you also have some really exciting things lined up for today, that you're working towards your goals, that your 2022 has started well, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again tomorrow for another reading.